I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Zo'Uul. Hi.
Howdy.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself for everybody.
Hi, I'm Zo'Uul. I guess you could say I'm a variety streamer. Mostly play looter shooters, but yeah.
Looter shooters.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've heard that phrase. I'm sure it's been around a while, but what type of game would you call a looter shooter?
Stuff like Borderlands, Destiny 2, Warframe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and not only is it a shooter, but you pick up things along the way, obviously.
Yeah. Resources, guns, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm afraid a lot of those games are way out of my league at this point, at this age. I'll stick with Fallout.
Fair enough.
And pick up the loot from there, and be able to cheat as much as possible. So what got you started with content creation?
So a while back, I forget who the first VTuber is that I saw, but like the one that really sucked me into the VTubing sphere was Toa, Tokyo Toa. Mm-hmm. And from there I kind of fell into the rabbit hole. And tax season this year, I had enough that I was able to get myself a pre-built PC, and I got bored one day and I was like, VTubing kind of sounds fun. So I just kind of picked it up one day and there we are.
So did you have any nervousness turning the microphone on, or was it okay for you?
Yeah. I'm a pretty socially anxious person, so there was like a lot of anxiety there. I'm pretty sure I wish I still had the VOD because I did a collab with a couple people and I was pretty tired, but like my first solo stream, I was doing a giveaway for Warframe and I peaked at like 64 live viewers. Ooh. And I'm already very anxious, so people were like asking questions and talking, and I was just kind of like, yeah, like stuttering and stammering really badly.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And it doesn't matter if you've done it for 35 years. Doing something slightly different is still going to be taxing on you, because it's preparing for something like that is a lot like nailing Jell-O to the wall. There's always something that's going to fall to the ground by the time you're done, and sometimes you just got to let it fall and keep going. So you didn't get your first Tran-Mon. You didn't get so shocked and scared that you dropped it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So when have you found yourself that you got comfortable with having the chat?
I want to say it wasn't my last two streams, but the stream before that, so like my 3 streams ago, just one day it just kind of clicked for me. I was just like, at the end of the day, this is just all online. Like, it's not going to affect me in real life. So might as well just kind of let the reins loose. And then I just kind of started easing up and like yapping a lot more.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's almost like maturing into the role a little bit, where you can I don't need to be, especially at this point, you've got people who are coming back for you because they enjoy you. I mean, that's why they're doing it. And they should be comfortable with you. You can be comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't see them anyway.
Right.
That was the best thing about radio for me, is I didn't see how many people were on. And getting in front of people was different. But were you somebody who would get out in front of an audience when you were younger?
No. When I was younger, I used to paint a lot, and we had this like competition at this after school program that I had, and I had an abstract painting, and I won first place, and we hung it up in like the biggest art museum in my state.
Whoa.
And like it had like a plaque underneath it with my name and all that stuff.
Wow.
And they wanted to get a picture with me and put it in the newspaper. And even then I was like, it was just simply just a picture. And I was like sweating bullets and shaking because I was so anxious.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a heck of a thing to happen to a young person, you know. That's and you look back on that like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
And I'd be looking at that like, what did I do right? And but that's really cool. Are you still keeping up with artwork now?
Not anymore. Sadly, I've had a couple things happen in real life. A couple brain injuries.
Mm,
I've had like several concussions at this point,
mm,
so I noticed that like I have slight tremors in my hands.
yeah,
Um, and also like if something isn't going right with my art, I have a tendency to get frustrated, and
yeah,
then that kind of makes me want to peel back and pull away from it.
right.
So I've started distancing more from that because I like as much as I enjoy it, I also realize that it frustrates me, and that's not something that I want to like taint.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want it to get to the point where you you rue even getting started with it. I mean, you want to enjoy what you're doing with it. I
Yeah.
and I can tell, at this, I'm going to be 61 later this year, and my hands are developing, the tremors that someone gets when they get older. But sometimes it gets so bad where I can't hold a phone. I'll pick it up at work and just kind of throw the phone across the room, or click the wrong button on the screen, and I'm doing data entry. That's just not a good thing. Um, that is very frustrating when that happens, and especially when you can't really do anything about it. Um, I can't imagine what it's like for a young person like you to go through something like that. Um, does it affect you when you're on playing a game?
Um, Not much really. My keyboard is very sensitive.
Mm,
So like I don't have to push the buttons down as hard,
mhm.
so I can kind of more like relax my hands. Um, but like that's why I don't play like a lot of like PvP shooters like Counter Strike or Valorant or stuff like that. Is
Yeah,
because it does like affect really badly that.
yeah. Now it would be tough with aiming and shooting and all that stuff, and then you get frustrated, and then make it even worse for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it get worse when you get frustrated, or is it something that just is a constant level?
It definitely gets worse. Like normally it's just like a slight shake,
Mhm.
but like the more frustrated I get, the more like it jitters and shakes around.
Yeah, yeah. It's when it gets to the fact that it's affecting your signatures. It's really
Yeah.
yeah. It's like mine's just a scribble anyway, and when the scribble looks wrong, I know I'm having a bit of a fit with it. Um, so the games that you're playing right now are games that you're comfortable with online, right?
Yeah.
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 Is there a comfort game that you have offline that you play?
Um, Offline, I'd probably say, hmm, one of my favorite games, I'd probably say Carrion.
Carrion. Okay.
Mhm.
And I can tell you this the first time somebody said that. What's Carrion about?
Um, so you're an alien that crashed into Earth,
Mm,
and it's basically just like a giant mass of flesh, teeth, and eyeballs.
mm,
And you got captured by scientists, and it's like a horror puzzle game.
mm.
So you have to like go through vents, and you have to break off pieces of your body to make you smaller, or eat people to make yourself bigger. And I like that because you don't have to use your fingers much. It's mostly like critical thinking
Mm.
and stuff like that because there's enemies with flamethrowers, so they'll try to burn you, and you have to try to either get big so they have more to burn, or like get smaller so you can find somewhere to hide.
Mm. So it's tactical, and it's also kind of gross.
Yeah, yeah, very much gross.
Yeah, I can dig that. But that's interesting. Do when you shed a piece of yourself,
Mhm.
Does your health go down when you do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that'll add something worse to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's got to be an independent game, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's the type of stuff you wouldn't get out of a corporate game. But would you rather play the independent games or the big money games?
Um, I'd probably say more independent games.
Yeah, yeah. It's to me, it seems like there's a little more heart into it because it's not strained through a corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I can see Nintendo putting out a game where you cut pieces of yourself off. I can, Super Mario, no. Now watch the next one be like Super Mario 1D, where you just cuts pieces of himself off as you go. Um, if you were to put together a game, what type of game would it be?
Hmm.
Would you do it for yourself or other? I mean, would you do it based on what you enjoy or what you think would sell?
I'd say what I enjoy.
Hmm.
Um, one of my favorite genres. I really like roguelites.
Hmm.
Um, because I like how each time you go through, it's not a set structure.
Right.
Things can change. So, like, the first time you go through, it can go really easily. The second time you go through, it can be really difficult. Third time you go through, it could be straight down the middle. Um, so I like the variation in that because it pushes you to try and experiment new things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm kind of surprised we don't see almost every game that way because um, I think companies are really pushing toward having their games have a longer interest in them and replayability. One of the best ways to do that is make it roguelike.
Yeah.
And it's a one person has the perfect experience and the other person can't get through this certain point for the rest of their life. Uh, I mean, not that frustrating, but still, I mean, along those lines, I think that would, and people are always putting out, additions and modifications and that sort of thing. But the roguelike thing would probably be the cheapest, especially for the independent developers, I think. Um,
Right.
yeah, to have the multiple endings. I mean, would you rather have a game that kind of steers you to the one ending, or one that you have multiple endings you can get?
I'd say multiple endings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. There's a lot of games that I like that where they have kind of more vague endings. The
Mhm.
biggest one that comes into mind is like the Silent Hill series.
Yeah.
Um, because I like in Silent Hill 2, um, the variations on the ending are either treat yourself really poorly and you get the bad ending, treat yourself kind of good and you get the good bad ending.
Hmm.
And if you keep using like the memorabilia of why you're there and keeping yourself self happy, um, you'd think you'd get the good ending, but you also get a kind of medium ending. Um, so like, and the game doesn't specifically tell you that. So I like games that kind of leave it open and leave it to interpretation.
Yeah, yeah. I see. That's one of the things I'd liked about the Fallout 3 and New Vegas is that it ends when it ends, but it ends differently depending on what you did during the game,
Yeah,
and so and then you can cheat to get the endings you want, which is
yeah.
even better. um, so when you're up and running,
Mhm.
um, do you ever look down at how many people you have there after that first
Um,
experience?
I used to. Um, on OBS, which is what I use for recording, I actually turn viewer count off.
Hmm.
Mostly because like people on Twitter are probably getting annoyed by me saying this, but I'll keep repeating it until I run out of breath. Um, I'm not doing this for like money or fame or anything like that. I'm doing it because it's genuinely something that I enjoy.
Hmm.
Like the biggest reason I got into content creation was I've always enjoyed helping people out.
Right.
So like I used to run a page for memes on Facebook and slowly, piece by piece, over the course of 3 years, I grew it to 150,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that attention and stuff like that, instead of being like, hey guys, like keep checking me out, I would shout out smaller creators.
Right.
And that's what I'm kind of trying to do now. So I don't really pay attention to like how many people are watching me. I mostly do it because I find it fun. And I'm really bad at doing this, but like I want to rate out more often to smaller creators.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I know I don't pull the biggest numbers because I can look at my analytics after stream,
Right.
but yeah, I just tried not to focus on the numbers. Mostly because like the biggest advice I got for content creation was just act like you are comedy incarnate. Like act like every joke that you're saying is landing and sticking.
Yeah.
No matter how many people are there. So
Yeah.
that's what that kind of my mindset on things.
Yeah. Well, you're entertaining yourself too. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets to the point when you're doing any type of entertainment like this, and it is an entertainment
Mhm.
medium. If you're not having fun with it, then the audience isn't going to either. Um, and now they say, well, what about those people who play horror games and scream? They're not doing those horror games and screaming because they hate it. They like the response that they get from it because they'll keep doing it. Um, if have you ever seen somebody doing a stream and you can tell they absolutely dislike what they're doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a very competent stream, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You successfully streamed. Congratulations. It's the old cardboard sandwich that is. Technically, it's still a sandwich.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, I imagine people are just going to have those days where not everything hits, but um, sooner or later, you got to realize when to cut bait on something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you ever had that situation where you started a game and it's like, ah, I'm not big into this after you started it?
Yeah. I think I still have it on my library.
Mm.
Um I forget what game I was playing. Uh, no, I think I might have uninstalled it. But I remember I was streaming it, and like most games, like I can give it a good old college try. Like I can force the smile, I can laugh and stuff like that. But that
Hmm.
game, I just felt miserable, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. What type of a game was it? Do you remember?
Um. Oh, it was Path of Exile 2.
Okay. What
Um.
was the worst part of it for you? Just everything?
So normally I like playing Path of Exile. I just realized very quickly I don't like playing it on stream.
Ah.
Um. Mostly because like the community can be very enthusiastic.
Hmm.
Um, so if you're not doing what they want or playing how they want, then they kind of get pushy.
I like how you used enthusiastic there, but the way you pronounced it definitely gave the actual meaning behind the word. Yeah, yeah, you kind of got pushed out of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's. What do you think about backseat drivers when it comes to games online?
Um, for the most part, I'm 50-50 on it.
Mm.
Like some games, like Warframe, I actively like to look at builds and see how people are using these guns and these characters and stuff like that,
Right.
because that's the beauty of Warframe. You can make a wet paper towel kill anything. Um,
MacGyver
but
it.
yeah, the one game that I'm not too fond of having backseaters on is Phasmophobia.
Mm,
Because it's one of those games again where you need like critical thinking and like deduction because you're hunting ghosts.
right,
So you have to check for temperature, you have to have an EMF reader, you have to use a spirit box, and only certain ghosts will interact with certain things.
right,
So if you're using the spirit box and nothing's happening, you cross that off.
right.
So it knocks out those ghosts. And I remember one time me and one of my friends were playing, and we had all the evidence that the ghost was going to be a mimic,
Mm,
which can be any kind of ghost.
right.
And in their chat, they had somebody that was like, no, it's not a mimic, it's this. And I was like, I don't know, it's kind of pointing towards this. And me and my friend were kind of going back and forth on it.
Yeah.
And I circled mimic, they circled the other ghost that guy was suggesting, and then it was a mimic.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it is a game, but at the same time, it's like, we're sitting here trying to use like our deduction skills and stuff like that. It's not really fun when you're just telling us what it is.
Yeah, that's true. And they were wrong. Besides,
Yeah.
yeah, it's even worse. And then you get people who are just trying to mess you up anyway, and you have to deal with that sort of thing. Do you ride herd over your chat like that? Do you have anybody to help you out with it?
Um, so I have my brother as my mod.
Mhm.
Um, but he's more kind of hands off, or like as I'm streaming, he'll text me and be like, "Hey, do you want me to handle this?"
Mm.
Um, luckily, I'm small enough that not a whole lot is going on, so I can kind of keep an eye on everything while also streaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, that's it's good that you're able to do that. And I'd see if I had a family member do it, they would probably be trying to sabotage me. That's what kept going. Um, the it, but if you've had pretty even time with chat for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's excellent. And now that you're more comfortable with it, is there anything you want to do to try to expand your base?
Um, I've tried networking. The biggest issue that I've found recently, and this isn't me like trying to badmouth people or anything like that, but I've noticed that like I've talked about it fairly recently, but um, I've noticed a lot of people kind of use other people as stepping stools.
Right.
So like if like let's say my CCV was 150 and their CCV was 60, and my community is like, hey, I like both of you, but you're not live streaming on Thursday, and they are.
Hmm.
Um, as soon as they get big enough that they feel comfortable, this isn't at anyone specific or anything like that. It's just kind of something I've noticed in general.
Hmm.
They'll kind of push you out and away.
Hmm.
Um, so I've tried kind of expanding my horizons a little more, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I've been scorned a lot, so I'm trying to keep my circle
Yeah.
like smaller.
Yeah. The hand's been burnt a few times, so
Yeah.
yeah. It's tough to trust somebody else with your chat
Hmm.
for that sort of thing. I would imagine. But when you do have somebody that you do click with and the collaborations go well, I imagine that's really fun. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and in some of these games, like Phasmophobia, for an example, um, if you got a bunch of people that you trust and you're able to do the game and laugh and enjoy it at the same time, that's priceless there.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there's some people go into those games and are immediately lunatics. like repo or something like that, where I don't even know if there really is a point to the game other than to throw people around. Um, did you enjoy that sort of thing, or would you rather stick to what the gameplay is?
Um, I like chaos. Um, like I remember one time, this wasn't even like an online collab, it was just me and one of my friends playing. We were playing Yap Yap,
Mm.
and if you have voice proximity on, you can kind of screw with your friends because you have to say like the spells out loud.
Oh yeah.
And there's enemies that are chasing you around, and they were being chased by an enemy, and they were getting ready to turn around and cast their spell, and I just kind of screamed as loud as I could, Tempest, which was what they were going to use to get the enemy off them.
Yeah.
So it shot in the complete opposite direction of the enemy, and they looked at me and they're like, "Why? Why would you do that?" And then the enemy killed them.
Oops.
Yep.
Sorry. Um, That's yeah, I'm afraid I would do that. And but as long as when you got people who know you a little bit, and I think that would probably be the toughest thing to. I mean, if someone was to reach out to you for a collaboration, what
Mhm.
would what would be a yes for you, and what would be a no?
The biggest yes for me would be like playing offline first, kind of getting that vibe check.
Hmm.
Um, because I like to call myself kind of a social chameleon. I
Mm,
can kind of fit in with like all the personalities and stuff like that.
right.
But when I'm mostly streaming by myself, I'm kind of more laid back. I don't talk a lot. I just kind of let the gameplay and like the noises from the games take center stage, and I'll make small comments.
Mhm,
Um, so my community is mostly there for like the relaxed, chilled vibes,
mhm.
and I want to kind of see how the other person is first before I stream with them. Mostly because like my big hard no-nos is like I don't like NSFW topics coming up live on stream because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
And I don't like I'm fine with like kind of indirect flirting. Like my friend when we play Phasmo will be like, "Oh, ghosties, where are you? I want to smooch you."
Yeah.
Um, but if it's directly at me, it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to kind of like do my big yes is like if someone was like, "Hey, do you want to collab? We can play this sometime." It'd be off stream, and my big no I'd probably say is like someone being like straight away like, "Hey, next Thursday, do you want to collab?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. What time?" And they're like, "Oh, it's going to be 8 p.m. Central, and I'm going to be going live, and yada yada yada."
Yeah. Yeah. It's just it it's a good idea to do some research.
Yeah.
And even if and we had this in radio too. If you could be two really talented people and it just doesn't mesh,
Hmm.
and that's nobody's fault. It just happens that way. Um, but you could be two fairly different people and just have it work perfectly. It's you never know when the chemistry. You can do as much as you can to set up the chemistry, but you don't know when it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and that's something. So, do you keep a running list of folks that you want to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Um. Yeah, I have like two or three of them right now at
Yeah.
the current moment.
Hmm. Yeah. So you're going to bug them for the rest of the year?
Um. One of them is more than happy to collab with me. We mostly just got to find when we both have the time because the
3
days
a.m.
that they're open for collaborations like Wednesdays and Thursdays,
Yeah.
but my schedule at work rotates. Um, the other person has some IRL stuff going on, so we're just kind of looking for a time. And the other person, the third person, I haven't even mentioned to them that I want to collab yet. So
It's just the only time you can collaborate is between 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning your time.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, but that's the thing about being worldwide. And when you are on this platform, you are worldwide. Uh,
Hmm.
have you found that you've got an audience overseas?
Surprisingly, yes.
Mm.
One of my mods, she's from the UK,
Hmm.
and one of my like ride or dies, they've been there since my first solo stream, and they've been there for every single stream because they told me like they kind of just toss me on when
Hmm.
they do like studying for college and stuff.
Which is cool.
Um, and he's from Malaysia,
Oh yeah. Oh,
so I
that's
thought that was really cool.
yeah. I mean, that's way ahead of us time wise in the
Yeah,
U.S. And from the UK, it's basically the other side of the planet.
right.
That's really amazing. Do you ever think like, yeah, I'm really reaching all these other countries and look at the potential audience and kind of get spooked a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. Mostly because like just like the cultural differences,
Hmm.
because something that might be completely normal for me might be considered impolite in their culture.
Oh yeah.
Um, so like it's intimidating, but it's also really cool because I've always been interested in culture. Um, so like the guy that is in Malaysia, we follow each other on Twitter, and he'll post pictures from like what he's doing and food he's eating and stuff like that. And I think it's really interesting to get that perspective from quite literally the other side of the world.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I bring this tale out every once in a while. When I started in radio in the mid '80s, that's the 1980s, not the 1880s. Watch your mouth, people. The wasn't even invented yet. I know I was there. The the cost would have been extreme to try and talk to somebody. I've interviewed a lot of folks in the Philippines and Australia and that sort of thing. The cost would have been extreme. It would have been over a landline phone and it would have sounded like garbage. And it it would just been bad all the way around. And I'd have been fired for doing it on the company phone. Um, and now to be able to just walk into your room and pick up the microphone and talk to somebody on the other side of the planet is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
And you're getting a chance to, I know you say you're doing this for fun, but you realize you're getting a chance to entertain people on other continents by doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy to think about because like I remember back on Twitter, I think it was for like a week or two. If you mentioned the word Australia, Australians were coming out of the woodworks. And I was like, oh, I really like Australian accents. And I'm a big snacky person. Do
yeah.
any Australians recommend snacks? I think that was one of my highest engaged posts. It had over 300,000 views, got about like 3,000 likes, and like hundreds of comments being like, oh, Tim Tams or these or those or this or that. And I was like, oh, hello.
Oh, I've awakened New South Wales. That's the VTuber you've seen in these other countries is pretty amazing too. The Australia's really woken up. The Philippines has a lot of folks in it. The Malaysia and in that area, but also there are places in Europe that have opened up as well, and South America. I've had a few guests in South America too, um, and it's really strange because the timelines sometimes they're on the same timeline as me and on another continent, which is
Mhm.
really tough to get my mind around during time change season. Um, so would you say that you're happy with what you got right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, my Twitter profile is kind of like my most popular profile, and my Twitch is very small.
Hmm.
And that makes me happy because like if it was the inverse where my Twitch was more popular, I'm very inconsistent with streams just
Yeah.
because my work schedule rotates.
Yeah.
Um,
That would also be
like
weird.
yeah, because like this week I have Thursday, Friday off. Next week I have Tuesday, Wednesday off, and
Hmm.
then the week after that I have Tuesday, Friday off.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
so I can't really set up a schedule to be like,
mm,
hey guys, I'm going to be going live at these times
yeah.
because it could rotate around. And it also rotates like not this week or next week or the week after, thankfully. It's the week after that week. Um, I have a closing shift, which is 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. and then straight away the next day I have an opening shift which is
Oh,
7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working those types of shifts in radio, and they didn't always get the best voice the next morning. It sounded more like Sominex than anything else. This show brought to you by Sominex. I was ASMR before it was cool. Um, well, you really have a very good voice. Did you take any training on it whatsoever?
Oh, thank you. No, I haven't actually. I actually talked about this recently on Twitter because someone was like, when you're streaming, people do like voices for it and all that stuff. Like,
Uh huh.
how do you not get strained? And I was like, honestly, I just kind of relax and my voice kind of naturally goes like this.
Hmm.
Um, because in real life, I'm kind of more hyperactive and energetic and stuff like that.
It's tough.
So my voice is kind of higher pitched and more squeaky. But when I'm sitting here at my desk live streaming, I kind of just like melt into my chair and everything relaxes.
You go from Mickey Mouse to Barry White very quickly. But it's a very resonant voice, and it's got that depth to it that a lot of people would love to have. Um, have you, well, given that voice and given the pitch, was it
Mhm.
tough for you to get a microphone that worked for you?
So my original microphone, like this is why I'm sad that Twitch deletes old VODs. I had a Fi-Fine mic,
Mm,
and that one was pretty good. But my original microphone that I had bought for my computer, I didn't realize it was an XLR microphone.
uh,
Because I got an Audio Technica AT 2020,
hmm
and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna plug this into my computer. What sort of cable plug-in is that? um, and then eventually, like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a cheaper mic, see how I like VTubing. If I like it, I'll buy the other stuff like the interfacer and stuff like that for my
Right.
Audio Technica.
Yeah.
Uh, realized that I like it a lot, so I ended up buying all that stuff to get that
Yeah.
all set up for my computer.
Yeah. I usually tell folks to not to don't keep from overspending on a microphone if you're just doing the talk. But in your case, your range, you need the better microphone because of
Mhm.
your voice range, and that's something you can do some things like baffle your room, sound padding, or even put up a sheet or something to keep it from the windows. But in your case, your voice is naturally down at that register where you're going to need that extra several kilohertz on your microphone to make it sound good. Because the one thing you really don't want to do is have that smearing effect.
Mm.
Um, and people are like, "What's smearing audio?" If you've ever heard somebody overkill a microphone, just we called it pin the needles because it was uh, analog at the time, where they're just really into a microphone, and you and the top and it sounds so smeary that you don't understand what they're saying. That's a lot of times it's from the microphone not having the ability to use those frequencies. Um,
Mm.
it's like when everybody remember landlines for phones, uh, that type of effect where you didn't really hear any lows or real highs, and it cut them off. Um, Most people will talk in a range where they just need a decent microphone. But yeah, I'm glad you went for the setup that sounds better because that bass needs to come out. Have you thought of using it for any other things besides the VTubing?
Funny enough, I actually did think about like radio.
Mm,
And this was years ago,
mm-hmm.
like back before I thought about doing any sort of content creation.
Yeah,
I used to co-host on my buddy's podcast,
cool. Yeah.
and we mostly talked about like basically everything. We talked about like politics,
Mm,
sports, anime, video games, music, and that was kind of the catalyst of like what got me into like making my Facebook page and kind of like doing stuff like that.
yeah.
Was people would come on and they'd be like, hey, I like your voice, and I was like, thanks, I don't like my voice but appreciate it. um and people thought I was funny, so that's kind of what got me started into like posting on Facebook and
Yeah.
making memes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, local radio is very tough to earn a living at, and
Mhm.
if you're gonna do it part time, and don't rely on it to pay your bills because
Yeah.
especially in smaller markets, it's just very very tough, and that's why I had to leave it. Otherwise, I'd still be doing it now. But after 35 years, when I was I was state sportscaster of the year 2 years in a row and was making $10 an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah, wasn't going to get any better than that. I can, and it's not like after 35 years in doing one type of business, I had a big skill set to do a lot of other things. So I eventually got a job with the city. But yeah, you would be fine at it. Just doing some, you know, announcing, weekend stuff, some commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Voice acting.
I've actually thought about that as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things of like I'm my biggest critic and my biggest stopgap.
Yeah.
Because like I think about like stretching my wings and doing other stuff like that I know that I enjoy.
Hmm.
But then I'm like, what if I'm not good at it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're not good at it, nobody's going to hire you.
Fair, yeah. Actually, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. But there's the thing is with the voices is that if you were going to apply for something that was supposed to be a 7-year-old, very feminine girl, you're probably not going to
Mhm.
get the vote role, no matter how good you sound. Um, but people are looking for certain types of sounds, and if someone wanted a little squeakier sound, maybe they get somebody who's a little squeakier.
Mhm.
It it all depends on what they're looking for,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So I think anybody should at least get a tape together or that tape together. Well, how old are you, Eric? 100 years. Um, get a resume recording
Mm.
of what reading some things, and you know uh, maybe even use a video game and read the lines on the screen dramatically or something along those lines. Sometimes they just need narrators.
Fair,
Yeah,
yeah. Because yeah, I that's what I kind of do with my streams and when I'm playing with my brother.
yeah.
Like, we like to make fun of characters a lot. So like I'll do like kind of like I try to mimic their voice, but it sounds so off from how they normally sound, but that adds to the bit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um so yeah, I mean I thought about setting up like audio reels.
yeah. Well, you
I
can do
wouldn't
that.
probably be looking for something like serious just because I'm a very goofy, nonsensical person.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun part of it, though. You can still have fun while doing it.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, that's something you could do with the YouTube channel. You put up little things like that, you know,
Mhm.
and people will click on them. Do you stream on just Twitch or Twitch and YouTube?
I've thought about doing dual streams. Um, it's mostly trying to figure out how to set it up.
Mm. Just assimilate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Aren't you supposed to assimilate? You should assimilate it. Yes. Just bring it to you, or the other way around. I would. I don't know how it gets set up that way, but I would think it'd be pretty tough. Um, um, First of all, the delay is going to be different,
Oh yeah.
and it's and if you try to regulate it, you're just going to mess things up on both sides. Um,
Mhm.
we had tried that with radio and television, and it does not work. Um, and then if you have 100 people watching on one and two on the other, is it really worth doing it?
Right.
it
Right.
when it comes down to it. But um, have you got a pretty good pipeline for taking your stuff and editing it and putting up on YouTube?
Um, I got to be better at that.
Mm,
Um, it's mostly like me looking for softwares that are more beginner friendly.
mm.
Um, because I was doing some VOD scrubs for a friend the other day, and people, when I was looking up, like, hey, like, what's the easiest thing to cut up videos and like kind of trim them down for shorts and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, use DaVinci Resolve, and I went in there, and it's like taking a toddler and throwing them straight into nuclear physics. Like nothing made sense to me.
I think the very title alone is pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
Da Vinci, yeah, like he wasn't very complicated.
yeah, yeah.
He didn't carry an extra brain pack around with him when he was walking around back then. We'll be able to figure that one out in 60, 70 years, maybe. It'll be fine. Maybe just call it like beginner. How about that? That'll be good. Beginner. Um, or just Eric Loy. It'll work just the same. Uh, but once you learn to do that, you'll be as popular as a bass player in a group of garage bands. Everybody's going to want you to do that stuff for you. You may you may end up getting demands from other people to edit their stuff.
Ironically enough, yeah. I started doing it for my friend because I was like, hey, like you work a lot. I have a lot of free time. I'm looking to kind of set up a portfolio and open commissions for that kind of stuff. Could
Mm,
I cut up some of your videos? And she's like, oh, that'd be amazing, actually, because, then I could get this stuff done. Um, and as I started working on it, my other friend who I stream with sometimes, they were like, hey, could I also get you to do mine? And I was like, I mean, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. And the door knocks, and it's somebody from next door. Hey, I heard that you were editing something here. Can I get you to edit mine? And can I borrow some sugar? Yeah, it tends to, but then look at it as practice,
Mhm.
and then you can mooch off them too, like they're mooching off of you.
Fair enough.
One mooch is good for another mooch. I'll tell you that. But really, getting that practice does not only will it help you do
Mhm.
more things later, but again, if you wanted to do the commission thing, it could get you a few bucks here and there. That's
Oh, yeah.
nothing bad about that at all. Are there some things that you've wanted to do on stream that you haven't been able to yet?
Hmm. On stream.
Uh,
Ironically enough, I've kind of wanted to do like kind of more of like a podcast kind
hmm
of stream occasionally.
Yeah.
Um, I had this idea that I saw from another creator where they go on Reddit, am I the a-hole? And they read off the story, they give their opinion, and then they also get their community to kind of be judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that would be fun.
Yeah. That'd be good.
But
Yeah. It's
the biggest issue I see with that is Reddit, so it could start off like my wife left me and took the puppy, and you're like, okay, this is a good one, and then all of a sudden it just gets really bad further down you go.
yeah. Yeah. You have to kind of pre-plan that sort of thing a little bit.
Yeah.
And you print it out if you can and mark off the bad ones. Yeah, there's some things you don't leave in the wind because someone will blow it. That's for
Mhm.
sure. Uh, but that sounds like a good way to get your chat involved for sure.
Yeah.
And would you be looking for other things along those lines of trying to interact a little more with chat?
I've thought about it, yeah. I was talking with my one friend about like uh they have a system set up in their chat where people can go fishing.
hmm
So I was looking to set up something for like that. And they were like, oh, it's super simple. And I was like, yeah, biggest problem though is how much is it? And they're like, oh, like 20, 15, 20 bucks. And I was like, yeah, I have $1.10 in my account right now.
I can still write a check for it, but I'll be in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. These days they don't let you kite checks for very long. Yeah. Yeah. I see. I don't know whether it's that or that would be more of a distraction to me. I would think, but
Yeah.
it's not really. It's not really interacting with chat. It's getting. I mean, I understand why people do it, but to me, it kind of gets chat to not interact with you. They're interacting with the game.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's more jingling keys in front of the baby.
Yeah. You just get. I'll tell you what you do. You just have a jingling keys and put it in the corner, and every once in a while, when stuff does slow down, just jingle it a couple times, and then keep going. And
Yeah. Because like, the other thing I was doing was, I was trying to raise money for something. So
mm,
I was playing, Warhammer Darktide. And it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, where there's like special enemies and they can disable you or they do a lot of damage.
right.
So I set things up for bits, like um one of the big things that I had was like I called it AirPods mode,
Mm.
where I would mute the game and then I'd deafen myself in Discord so I couldn't hear anybody.
Oh,
So I was like, $5 and I'll do that because, that's
yeah.
fairly cheap, that's fairly inexpensive, and it makes it funny
Right.
because I could have an enemy rushing at me from behind and
Never.
not even realize it, and they could
Not
pick me up
never.
and throw me off the map, killing me.
Right.
Um, and I had another idea for like, I called it president mode, where I would actively go out of my way to go to dangerous things, so like exploding barrels, enemies throwing grenades, enemies lighting the floor on fire. I
Yeah.
was right front and center right in that. And if we died, we had to restart the entire mission.
Oh,
And I had it like easy, which was like $10, and that's like the characters that have a lot of health and can take a lot of hits.
right.
And I had hard, which was $15, which for
Mm.
characters that do not have a lot of health and
Yeah.
cannot take a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Um,
That's thinking there. That's making them pay for your pain.
yeah, yeah. Because it's like, you guys get more engagement out of this. This can go on for a while. And
Yeah.
I was like, you could combo both of them so it could be president mode. And also, you could mute and deafen me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much just walking on a landmine there.
Yeah.
And then over and over and over again. Did you have to keep going until you got through that session?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So initially I had it where if I went down, we had to restart all the way at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then I realized like some of my buddies were like, no, that could get like really unfun because we could spend like your entire stream in one single mission.
Right.
So we had it where if I went down, but they were able to pick me back up, then we wouldn't restart. But if I went down, they could pick me up, we could finish it, but then we'd have to restart it again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I saw somebody once try to went on stream live, and they did this. I think it was a Pokemon thing where you go to some place and you have a 1 in a million chance of getting a shiny something. And they kept going there and it wouldn't show up. And the entire stream was them doing that, and they still never got it. I'm like,
Ooh.
boy, that was a stream. I'm sure everybody by the 10,000th time you tried it was pretty amazed. And you know what happened? Probably shut the stream off and got it right away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself with it, and I'm glad you're getting a good audience, and you're looking to continue to expand and keep going. It's obvious how much you enjoy it, and you've got the talent and the voice to do it. Folks need to check out what Zo'Uul's got going on and be assimilated as quickly as possible. We'll have all the links in the description for this video. But Zo'Uul, thank you so much for coming on. Just a pleasure talking with you. And
yeah, thanks for having me on.
and we'll try to get you on again sometime and talk about what's happening with you. But folks, check out what Zo'Uul's got going on, and make sure to get the presidential mode with the sounds off, if at all possible. I'm trying to get your money here.
Oh yeah.
Take care. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.